Yo guys, Christian Dream Game, welcome back to more Star Trek Online. Last time in Star Trek Online, we began our foray into the Klingon side faction of Star Trek Online by killing our captain. What a great start, huh? Today on Star Trek Online, we'll be continuing the tutorial and hopefully finishing it by the end of the episode. So, the first part of the tutorial introduced you to ground combat concepts and whatnot. So the second part is going to focus on space concepts. Now, you see, Star Trek Online is a bit of a two-way system. You have ground aspects and you have space aspects. Personally, I find that the space aspects of the game are much more enjoyable compared to the ground, because the ground is kind of weird, strange things that don't make sense. In many cases, we'll see more examples of this later. However, one little quirk that I don't like about the space system is that when you get a new ship, it automatically sets your weapons to auto fire. That's what that's what this green border means. That means the weapon is set to auto fire and to fire on its own accord. Right-clicking on it will turn that off. I suggest you do that right away. But while we're on the topic of UI things, I should go over what the UI means. So, down here are your power systems. Every ship has 4 systems: weapons, shields, engines, and auxiliary. Weapons power will largely affect how much damage your energy weapons will deal. This does not affect projectile weapons or anything that's kinetically based. Excuse me. Shield power, it will affect how fast your shields regenerate after taking damage and how much damage they can take per hit. Generally speaking, shields have a excuse me. Alright, sorry about that. Had a coughing fit. Anyway, shields will generally speaking have a base stat where how much damage they can take minimum. But your shield power will affect your shield power will generally affect that stat. Engine power. Oh, wrong mouse. Engine power will generally affect how fast your ship will move and how good of a turn rate you have. Every ship has an impulse speed they're able to hit. They also have a base turn rate. Base turn rate can be found in your well, it could be found in your oh, there it is. Okay, so movement. So every ship has an inertia stat. Inertia will basically affect how fast your ship will accelerate and decelerate, because we are in space and there's no inertia in a natural sense in space. So your ship will have inertia added to it. Your flight speed in this ship is a base speed of 15, very slow, but it'll have to do for now. And your turn rate. The turn rate of the Burrell bird of prey that we're piloting right now is 3.9 degrees per second. Your engine power will affect that, and I can actually demonstrate that right now. So right now we have our weapon primarily set to power set to weapons primarily. If we change this, suddenly our flight speed and turn rate increases on its own. That is something that is very important, and if you're very competitive, especially in PvP, making sure you're properly managing your weapons or your power systems is important. As for the last system, also if you press this button, you can actually change to different modes as to what you see with different buttons. This is the best one in my opinion. And the last one, the purple one, is auxiliary. Now, auxiliary power is arguably one of the most important because it affects your science abilities. Every science officer in your ship has a science ability, and the vast majority of them are affected by the amount of auxiliary power you have. Now, auxiliary power does not have a primary setting to focus power on that. So in order to get as much power to auxiliary as you can, you either need to use engineering abilities or consoles. Those are the 2 primary ways you're going to be able to get science ability or more auxiliary power. Now here is your hull integrity and shield array status. You have 4 shield facings all around the ship, and any of them can take damage from any side. You also have hull integrity, which for the Bellbird plays a base of 10,000. This can change with stats, with leveling up stats and consoles. Over here you have your weapons, pretty standard. Bridge officer stations, where your bridge officer abilities will be slotted, and as well as captain abilities. We have 2 actually. One is evasive maneuvers 1. Basically just gives you a large increase to your speed and turn rate for about 8 seconds. and cloak. Now, Federation ships do not have this, but cloaks, cloak will allow you to basically go into cloak state for an indefinite amount of time. And while you're in cloak, you cannot be seen unless you're too close to an enemy, which is plays into a stat called perception, which we'll get into much later. But when you exit cloak, okay, stop doing that. After decloaking, you get a 15% bonus damage for 5 additional seconds after decloaking. So it's really good for playing surprise attacks. Really good. All right, that's enough blabbering around. Let's get started on this mission. Now, for the time being, you cannot use full impulse. So this is going to take an extremely long amount of time. However, we need to move it towards this asteroid here in the middle of nowhere. But you can actually make this go a little faster by using evasive maneuvers, which is what I recommend what you do right now, because this is otherwise going to take forever. See, that's what I'm taking. It takes forever.
Full stop! Sir, I recommend we use the scanners to see if this contains any iridium.
Alright, scan for iridium.
This asteroid contains no iridium, but there is that nearby field that might prove better prospecting.
Alright, so this asteroid field to the left here may prove something. But now we can use full impulse. So now we can actually go to... Now we can use a better speed to move around this place, because otherwise it's going to take forever again. Alright.
Helm, full stop! Sir, I stopped the ship this time. Promising results, sir. Calibrating the scanners for a better look.
So what he was about to say is now we can have full control of the ship, where he's not going to do it for us.
Found several asteroids that contain iridium, Captain. Weapons are back online.
Right, so weapons. So generally speaking, weapons will have a cooldown once you're done using them. It's only a couple seconds max. But I like using this button. I just use when I fire weapons. I just use like this button, fire all weapons, which means that.
We found some iridium.
Which is basically just fire all weapons that are available in the current facing. Now, it should be mentioned, all weapons have a firing arc. What is a fire arc? Well, if you mouse over a weapon, it will show you the. It'll show you here. I'll show you a little better of a view here. It will show you the fire arc. This only has a 45-degree targeting arc, which means that when a ship comes, only when a ship comes in within range of this targeting arc can you fire a weapon at it. This turret, however, has a 360-degree targeting arc, so it can be used in any facing. This photon torpedo launcher, 90-degree target arc, can only come in when an enemy comes in range of this. You can only fire it at that point. So it's very important to make sure you're paying attention to your targeting arcs, so you're able to get the enemy when you can, for lack of a better term. Right, we got a lot of iridium to take here, a ton of it.
Captain, I'm picking up a Starfleet distress signal. Seems that a frigate looking for us took a hit in a nearby asteroid field. They are disabled. Might I suggest we add to the record of battle by disposing of this Federation scum? Your order, sir.
Prepare for battle. All right, so we got some fresh meat to deal with right here. This disabled Centaur class frigate. I feel so sorry for them, but we're Klingon, so we shouldn't feel sorry. So this is a enemy. This is an enemy that has shields, but it's not going to be able to attack you. So just keep wailing on one shield facing, and it should be done real quick, like that. But here's some weapons that are not weapons. Here's some ships. So these Miranda class frigates are going to start firing back at you, so be prepared for that. So this is a good time to show off our bridge officer ability. Torpedo high yield. It basically means that it'll turn one use of your torpedoes into a higher yield torpedo, which will deal more damage for that one-time use of the ability. It will shoot off more torpedoes than normal, and they will always do higher damage. but it's only one use for the time being.
Captain, the science officer has determined that we are unable to find the Segpa because the feds are jamming our sensors. Unfortunately for them, we have determined the location of the ships that are jamming us. My recommendation is that we destroy those ships so we can locate the Segpa. It's going to be a tougher fight than what you've faced so far, but the crew is feeling up to the challenge. Your order, sir.
Alright, so prepare the cloaking device. So this is a good example of using the cloaking device. So those ships can't see us unless we're right on top of them. So if we head over here and just, I don't know, put on a bit of a high yield torpedo, decloak, start wailing at them. Brought them down to 23% hull integrity right like that. That's how powerful that can be. Nope. Alright, so what I did right there was just try to maneuver around that torpedo. Not always the best idea because you're probably going to get hit in a spot that you don't want to. But hey, that it works just fine sometimes. Right, scan for the Segpa.
This is Captain Kagnar of the IKS Segpa. Where is Captain Jarlek? Finally! That miserable Toba had been a blight for far too long. Congratulations. May you bring glory to your ship and your house. Speaking of which, do you want to join our fight against this Federation Patach? My long-range comms are down, so I cannot notify High Command of the situation. Communications officer, make a report to Command. Give them our coordinates and tell them the Segpa is in need of assistance.
So we got a bit of a Galaxy-class ship sitting over there.
Sir, the Federation ship is hailing us.
I'll answer.
This is the Federation ship USS Musashi hailing incoming Klingon vessel. Captain Jurlek, what are you... Wait. Where is Captain Jurlek? Well then, I assume you realize how outgunned you are? I'll cut you the same deal I had with Jurlek. Give us your prisoner, and we'll let you escape, and live to fight another day. Failure to comply means we'll disable your ship and take the prisoner by force.
Your order, sir.
You're making a huge mistake.
So she is awfully confident, but I think we're a little bit more powerful than she is. We'll just see about that. I'm gonna go and cloak here and go. So here's a bit of a tactic that I like. That I like to use on occasion, is that I like to flank. Now there is no flanking damage in space, but getting behind them can provide some different abilities. What am I saying here? It'll provide some different vantage point that can really get them sometimes. So we disabled our weapons. So we got some help here real quick. The Musashi is a Galaxy-class starship, which is a lot more powerful than this dumb little bird of prey. So it's going to take a lot more than us to get rid of it. I'm going to turn this guy around and then whale them with another high-yield torpedo. So here's the thing. The thing about torpedoes is that they are only effective against the hull, not really effective against shields. So you want to be able to whale down the shields before using a high-yield torpedo. Because if you're just throwing your high-yield torpedoes at shields, it's not going to do a whole lot of damage. Because, there's sort of this bleed-through damage, but it's not going to provide, as much damage as you want otherwise. And they're going down real quick. There we go. I'm going to get away from this because the ship's going to blow up in my face again.
We're going to stay here while repairs are underway. But you need to get that Federation prisoner to Qo'Nos immediately. High Command is expecting him. You probably want to spank him by now. I know I did, but that would be a career-ending move for you. Just get him to Qo'Nos.
Congratulations, Warrior.
So you're the one with my prisoner. Congratulations. We've captured him many times, but no one has ever actually gotten him as far as Qo'Nos before he escaped. He's quite the prize. Beam down directly to the prison here in First City, and we'll make arrangements for the prisoner transfer. Qo'Nos prison facility out.
Alright, so prison warden here, huh? What do you got to say?
Are you the one delivering my prisoner? Guards, incoming Federation prisoner. Prepare cell 31 for his arrival.
Sir, your presence is requested in the Warriors' Battleth Arena immediately.
Okay, so heading out the door, we get to see... Not that door. Excuse me. I love how they do that kind of thing. It's kind of stupid. Out the door is... Alright, out the door is First City, which we will explore and do whatever this person wants us to do next time. See you guys later.